Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the U.S. women's national team. We're coming to you live from Orlando City Stadium in Orlando, Florida, where the U.S. and England are tied at 0 after 45 minutes of play in this winner-takes-all affair. The spirit of the SheBelieves Cup isn't limited to the playing field. This past weekend, the SheBelieves Summit took place in New York. Let's check it out.
It is an absolute honor to welcome you to the first ever SheBelieves Summit. We're thrilled to be here at the New York Nike headquarters to celebrate the power of women supporting and inspiring other women. U.S. Soccer's got an incredible lineup of extraordinary women across various disciplines here today to share their stories of success, but also to give you some tools to help equip you to achieve any dream or goal that you set out to do. We have some pretty incredible women here today, and every single woman that's going to step on this stage, she's been told no. She's faced challenges and she's persevered to be able to reach her dreams. And our goal today is to help you accomplish yours through some of their stories. Everyone, please help me give a very, very warm welcome to Julie Foudy.
So it wasn't until I started playing on the national team, actually, that I was surrounded by all these amazing women that I realized that my definition of leadership was very narrow. It was like this epiphany, this moment where you go, success isn't a matter of chance, but a matter of choice. Like, I get to choose that.
This phrase, SheBelieves, took on a whole new meaning, and it became so much bigger. It started as a phrase that was conceived by the women's national team players themselves. And really, it was a cheer and a hashtag in the 2015 World Cup. It went from a phrase to a mantra that was really inspirational for anyone who's trying to achieve a goal or a dream, whether that was in soccer or outside of the sport. We have an amazing platform in our #1 ranked women's national team. And so we just thought it was an opportunity we couldn't pass up to make this a bigger and bigger movement over time. We want to spread that message that it's important to pursue your goals, no matter your gender.
Remember, log on to ESPNW.com for the most extensive, in-depth coverage and stories surrounding women's sports. Right now, Julie's got a piece on the U.S. being just a step off against France. Plus, Graham Hayes has something on Alex Morgan's journey back to the top of her game. And Darcy Main with a cool piece on the budding relationship between the U.S. women's soccer team and the U.S. women's hockey team. Both legendary groups earlier this month. Speaking of legends, Brianna Scurry going into the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame. Julie, long overdue.
It is long overdue. 2 Olympics, 1 World Cup, first African-American female to go in the Hall of Fame, and I'm just so pleased and proud. She's just such a tremendous goalkeeper and, most important, a tremendous human being.
And now an assistant coach with the Washington Spirit, paying it on down the road to future generations. When we return, we'll break down the first half action from Orlando. Stay with us.
Chicken minis. Get the feeling of Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
Honey, did you know cricket covers over 99% of Americans?
Yeah, I did know that. I also knew that.
This holiday season, get the gift of coverage for $30 a month.
Welcome back to Orlando, Florida, where the United States and England are tied at 0 at the half in the 2018 SheBelieves Cup finale. It is winner take all. Alongside Julie Foudy, I'm Sebastian Salazar. What'd you make of the first 45 minutes?
A lot of possession by the United States, but not a lot of product in that final third. And you saw only in about the last 5-10 minutes of that half where all of a sudden there was an energy to that final third play. And I think that's what you're going to need to see in this second half for sure.
All right, let's take it. Look at the highlights from the opening half.
Alley long to Rapinoe, and this is when they start to get going. Rapinoe gets hot on the top of the box. She gets in line, and this is where they had some problems, is just connecting in that box. Give some credit to England with their marking in that box, but Pugh has really had the most success. You saw her get in earlier in the half, and then this one at the end of the half where she decides to take on pretty much the entire team, and it actually hits that post, goes wide, but a good last 5 minutes for the United States where that possession was finally turning into some productivity.
You see the possession stats there, 62% for the United States. So far, though, it is possession without punch. No shots on goal, Julie, for either team so far in this match. When we return, second half kickoff, winner takes all, USA and England from Orlando, Florida. Welcome back to Orlando, Florida. US and England getting set to start the second half. Earlier today, France and Germany playing in their last match of the 2018 SheBelieves Cup. First goal coming for France in the 10th minute, courtesy Amandine Henry, former Portland Thorns player.
This is something the Portland fans are used to seeing. That's a cracker from about 25.
Second goal comes from Eugénie Le Sommer. She's had a good tournament.
Excellent tournament. Tiné with the turn. And then Le Sommer on the other side as well. Just playing this one across. Govan there to finish it. And what an end to the tournament compared to how France started the tournament with a 4-1 loss to England.
It was quite the turnaround for the French team. As we mentioned, the side France put out against England in that opener, full of young players. Carly Lloyd rocking the captain's armband for the United States as we get set to kick off the second half. No subs for either team. Again, it is winner takes all over the next 45 minutes. The U.S. must win to claim the 2018 SheBelieves Cup. England can win it with a draw. Lucy Bronze sends it all the way back to her goalie, Aaron Bardsley. Bardsley sweeps it wide and out of bounds.
There's the pressure of Alex Morgan on Bardsley. Coughing up the ball. Now the U.S. and their final third again. Let's see if there's a change in this second half with their product in the final third and efficiency.
Sonnet, the throw into the box. Knocked out of bounds by England. Another corner kick, the third of the match coming for the United States. Rapinoe looks set to take it. Pugh joins her in case the Americans elect for a short corner. 5 targets in the box. Allie Long crowding Bardsley, the English keeper. Rapinoe drives it. Well stung with the laces. Lloyd crashing in. Header wide.
Davidson didn't know Lloyd was coming in behind her. Lloyd wanted that one.
Lloyd, part of the huge off-season trade in the National Women's Soccer League. She'll move from the Houston Dash, Sky Blue FC in her hometown. England on the counter. Kirby slips it wide. Lawley offside. Other parts of that trade, Kristen Press.
When I see Fran Kirby, number 10 for England, get the ball and run at defenses, it's like I'm having a flashback of Tiffany Milbert. So much similar in the way they run. They're so fast. Great change of pace and speed.
Tiffany Milbert, remind me, is she in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, remind me. Let's talk about that, actually, shall we?
I got in trouble for talking about it last time. No, but
what?
She absolutely should.
She'd never get in trouble for talking about that. What is wrong with us? Tiffany Milbert should be in the Hall of Fame.
Long ball over the top. Chance here for Pugh. Pugh! The shot to save from Bardsley and swept away. A wave of American pressure crashing down on the English goal. Pugh in one-on-one, but could not convert.
And there's Pugh's speed, catching Stokes on that quick counter. Bardsley with another good save. Had a few key ones in there.
Rapinoe Now from the near side to deliver service. 48th minute. To the back stick. Bronze the header away. Horan will chase it down though. Looking for Pugh and she's found her. Pugh tried to slip it to Lloyd, misfired, but the ball makes its way to Allie Long. Americans pinging around the box, falls to Morgan. Morgan nearly with a beautiful through pass to Long, but it just didn't come off.
That ball into Mallory Pugh, by the way, take a guess. Who's been hitting all those balls in tonight?
Dahlkemper.
Dahlkemper. She is playmaking her heart out from that back line.
Kirby steals it away here. Her pass off the mark, but she was pulled from behind by Lindsey Horan, so it'll be a free kick for the English. Mallory Pugh, oh so close to opening the scoring here in Orlando, and it's a goal the U.S. desperately needs if they want this She Believes championship. A draw does the Americans no good. Pugh now turning up against the English defense. Through ball off the mark for Morgan. Tight quarters on the near sideline. England nearly worked their way out of it before Allie Long wins the ball. Foul called here against the English. Looks like we've got a couple subs coming up for the English. Tony Duggan set to check into the match for Mel Lawley, and Nikita Paris for Jody Taylor.
And that's some pace and some fresh legs. Both of them who play out wide typically. In that midfield seam or that high winger.
Paris and Duggan both started in the 4-1 victory over France and were quite a big part of that scoring output. Paris with a beautiful assist to Jody Taylor, and Duggan with the opening goal. U.S. pinging it around the back. England forcing some pressure here. Rapinoe tried to keep it in bounds, couldn't. And I don't think Rapinoe's very happy with Phil Neville telling him to get back in the technical area. And Neville was outside the technical area. Here come your subs for England. Again, it'll be Lawley out and Taylor for Duggan and Paris.
Rapinoe just walked over to Neville and gave him a little hug.
They made up.
They made up. But mind you, stay in that box. That's what she said.
Paris on the field. She plays for Manchester City. And here's what we were just talking about.
Oh, she caught him right on the wrist. That'll teach him to stay in his box, right?
As I mentioned, Paris checking into the match. One of his, I count, 9 Manchester City players on this English team. Duggan used to play for Manchester City. Last July, she signed with Barcelona. And in 6 months with Barcelona, she's done quite a bit of good work. 12 goals across all competitions. English turning up the pressure, the aforementioned Duggan. Pugh plays it back for Sonnet as the Americans reset. Dahlkemper has done some damage with the long ball. Elects to play short. Now Davidson going long. Morgan the challenge, ball falls to Lloyd. Right back to Morgan. Reminder, the NWSL on Lifetime returns in March for the 2018 season. First, March 24th at 3:30 Eastern, North Carolina Courage hosting Portland Thorns. That should be a good one. Then March 31st, again 3:30, Washington Spirit hosting the Orlando Pride. April 14th, Utah Royals. Can't wait to see them in action against the Chicago Red Stars. We were mentioning the big NWSL trade. The other big parts of that, aside from Carly Lloyd moving, Kristen Press going from Chicago Red Stars to Houston Dash, and Sam Kerr, who had an amazing season in 2017, the Australian, going from Sky Blue FC to Chicago.
A lot of changes, a lot of movement.
Horan, beautiful ball to Rapinoe. Can she catch it? Yes. Rapinoe in bronze. We've seen this before. Rapinoe the cross, Morgan there. And the ball skips through. Sonnet all the way up to gather. U.S. maintaining possession in the English third. All the way back to Davidson. What a pass. Sonnet the cross, deflected, falls to Pugh. Duggan over the top. White just ran out of gas. You got an NWSL team that you're kind of most interested in keeping an eye on this year?
It's a good question. I'm always fascinated by North Carolina, what they've been able to do with a lot of young players there as well. I remember talking to Sam Mewis after that final match, and I said, what are you most looking forward to for next year? And she looked at me and said, winning. I said, okay, got it.
Long touch from Bronze, turnover here. Lloyd wins it to Horan. Horan leaves it for Rapinoe. Rapinoe with the chance. Rapinoe! Save Bardsley! Karen Bardsley at the near post keeps it scoreless in the 56th minute.
We've seen Rapinoe make this goal at the near post, taking a deflection. Bardsley does well. She holds her line, cuts that angle, and still makes the good save. A lot of pace on that ball from Pino. We've seen those squirt in.
Rapinoe, low driven ball. Walsh clobbers it into the American end. Remember, the United States needs the goal here. England does not. A 0-0 draw would see Phil Neville's side crowned 2018 SheBelieves Cup champions.
And how often, Sebastian, in that position do you see a goalkeeper overshift just by a step? They start to cheat across, anticipating it's coming across, and they get caught on that near side.
Lloyd wanted Pugh, but little too much on that pass. There you see all the moves this offseason in the NWSL. I'll give you my team to watch. And not just because I'm a DC guy. Not just because I'm a DC guy. The Washington Spirit.
They did get a lot of players.
Mallory Pugh, Rose Lavelle, Andy Sullivan, Taylor Smith. I'll throw Ashley Hatch in there. She came over in the trade for Crystal Dunn. I think there's a lot of young American talent on that team. If you're a fan of this U.S. team, you got to be watching the Spirit this year. Get back to that in a moment as Kirby turns up the pressure on the American defense. Duggan now on her right foot. The shot! And she did not miss by much. It whistles wide of the far post. Nair at full extension.
Kirby to Duggan. We've seen this before. This is a common occurrence. Kirby finds Duggan. That was the actual first goal for England in this tournament. Happened just like that.
It wasn't a shot on goal, but that was England's first shot of the night. Gives you an idea of the setup here from Phil Neville. Rapinoe in a pocket. Finds Horan. Horan under pressure, has to turn back. Good option there with Crystal Dunn. Now Rapinoe with an acre of space in front of her. And options in the middle. Rapinoe wants Morgan. And it's found in the back of the net! I don't know how, but it has! Megan Rapinoe has the U.S. up 1-0 over England!
the second own goal by Bright for England. Last time it was just bad luck. Goalkeeper clearing it off her, and again, this time trying to make the clear. Those are such dangerous balls. It takes that first deflection. It's spinning away from you with that deflection. And Bright with that deflection into the back of the net for her second own goal in 2 games. And those are just killer. You can see that ball spinning off the deflection as well, which just helps it along.
Well, now England has to push. This game could open up in the next few minutes. As the results stand, the United States are your 2018 SheBelieves Cup champions. We have little more than half an hour to go here in Orlando. Can the U.S. hold on? Julie, she won't get any credit on that goal, but I feel like Alex Morgan's presence there had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and Alex Morgan has been just working her tail off the ball. Some of those things that go unnoticed, she has been defensively very good, putting pressure on the ball when needed, offensively as well, off the ball.
Big switch here could cause some trouble for the U.S. Nikita Paris, one-on-one with Dunn. Paris, the left-footed shot. Dunn blocks the shot, and it'll be last touch by Paris. She didn't see it that way, but good one-on-one defending from Dunn. And this is England on Sunday against Germany. They tied the match 2-2. Both goals for the Germans, own goals.
Yeah, and how unlucky is that? That was Bright on Sunday, and this is Bright tonight.
Paris and Dunn again. And again, Dunn wins the challenge. Paris and Dunn, another one of these flank matchups to keep an eye on.
England, I mean, you go back to the 2015 World Cup. Do you remember that own goal? It was a crushing defeat in the semifinal. In the waning minutes against Japan, it was that own goal by Laura Bassett that actually knocked them out of the tournament.
Bronze looking to play it across. Long first to it and does a nice job to maintain possession. The English press pushing further and further up the field. It is now Phil Neville's side that needs the goal. The Americans in the driver's seat. Moran the header. Out of bounds to England. Said should the U.S. be able to hang on, they may be able to get a little bit more cushion over the next half hour with England pushing forward. White 1-on-4, that's not going to work out well for her, and the Americans come away with it. No pressure on Nair, who elects to play short with Dahlkemper. Americans looking for space down that right side. They do not find it. A reminder, following the conclusion of our match, stay tuned for the coverage of the trophy presentation. That'll be on ESPN3 and over on the ESPN app. More pressure from England. Nair's clearance straight to Duggan. Duggan for Christensen. Chip over the top for Paris. Paris in behind, but offside. Horan now on the ball. Carly Lloyd Pushing it back through Sonnet, who now finds Long in the middle of the park. She draws some attention from the English midfield, but is able to play out of pressure. Long's header just out of range for Megan Rapinoe. White and Davidson. And neither of them will beat the ball to the end line. 64th minute. 1-0 U.S. Goal coming in the 58th. An own goal. But we'll give some credit to Megan Rapinoe on the cross. Christensen trying to find Kirby. Long steps in and just does enough to create the turnover. Can the U.S. capitalize? Pugh running at Stokes. Pugh the cross. MLS on ESPN presented by Audi returns Sunday, 3 Eastern. Atlanta United hosting DC United from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. And then on Saturday, March 31st, 8 Eastern on ESPN2, San Jose Earthquakes hosting New York City FC from Avaya Stadium in San Jose, California. Coverage that night begins at 8 Eastern. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app. Paris again in a one-on-one duel with Dunn. And Dunn again makes the play. Nair keeps it in bounds. And Crystal Dunn doing a great job.
I was just going to say, it's remarkable. This is a player who doesn't typically play this position. And here she is having a great game, as if she plays it every day of her life against one of the top teams in the world.
Stokes catches up to the cross and finds Christensen, driven into the box to White, who found herself open for a second. Dangerous moment there for the Americans.
Yeah, mind you, she's been playing more in a forward or a winger position in the last 3-4 years especially.
Well, she led the NWSL in goals in 2015, right? So after being left off the World Cup roster, turning in a banner performance. Key for the Spirit again as they made a run to the final in 2016.
And the thing you love about Dunn is there's just a feistiness to her game and a spark that she brings on the field, regardless of what position she's in.
Harris knocks it down for bronze. Now Walsh. Kirby with her back to goal. Lloyd, great work to win it. She's found Rapinoe. Now the Americans are on the break. Morgan nearly had Rapinoe. Couldn't pick her out. And here comes England. Are the Americans caught out? Duggan to Paris, who has had all sorts of space and time since she entered the match. Paris the cross. Dahlkemper's header away.
And that's such a good idea by Rapinoe and Morgan. Just a little too much pace on that ball. But great movement up top by those two forwards.
Bronze all the way up to take the throw. England needs a goal. Harrison Dunn, one-on-one again and again. Dunn wins the battle and doesn't give up a corner kick. It's scary to think about the North Carolina Courage roster and then adding Crystal Dunn.
I know, she's going to be a gift to them. But as you mentioned, that is going to be exciting. When I saw all the players going to Washington, I was like, wow.
Beautiful ball over the top. It's Lloyd. Can she get there first? No. Bardsley just to the edge of her area. A long ball over the top, working more and more for the Americans here in the second half. A couple breakaways. Kirby now. Kirby from distance.
You can see Kirby upset that Paris cut in. She's wanting her to go wide. Not a lot of options, and that's been the problem with when Kirby's running at that line. It's just not a lot of creativity on that front line. They're just running in straight.
Kirby, the number 10. She had options.
She's wanted her to play it right there. See her pointing to the spot.
Late whistle here as Horan tumbles to the turf in the 69th minute. And where this ball will end up could be a pretty dangerous set-piece opportunity here for the United States. Can they get the insurance goal? We've seen success from set pieces already in this tournament for the U.S. Specifically from set pieces taken by Megan Rapinoe. Quick ball here for Dunn. She's got space. Dunn cuts back. Dunn the cross. Back post header. Horan couldn't get enough on it.
Again, Crystal Dunn on both sides of the ball. We've seen her defensively. Here she is offensively. And it's a good ball into Horan, who just gets nothing on it. And he's at least got to get that one on frame.
McManus on the ball for England. She puts Bronze into a bad situation on the near sideline. And it's a turnover for the Lionesses. Dunn taking her time with the throw-in. Rapinoe back to Dahlkemper. Davidson under some pressure. Did a nice job to find Megan Rapinoe there. But the ball turned right back over, and again through Davidson. Now here comes England. Kirby muscling past Allie Long. Long brought down by Paris. And the English wanted a foul called first their way. Instead, it'll go to the U.S.
Allie Long getting cleaned there. Good call by the referee.
'72nd minute, U.S. leading 1-0 on an own goal in the 58th. A U.S. win means the Americans take the 2018 SheBelieves Cup. An English win or draw, and the Lionesses are your champions. What a 12-month turnaround it would be for the United States, finishing last in this tournament a year ago. United States working the ball deep in their own end. No real aggressive high press yet from the English.
The last 3 results against England have been 1-0 results when the U.S. and England have played. But you got a feeling in this. There's more goals in this, don't you?
Christensen and Rapinoe duking it out. Rapinoe, the guilty party there. Couple of subs getting ready down on the U.S. bench. A reminder, 6 substitutes allowed in the SheBelieves Cup. Looks like it'll be Morgan Bryan and Sofia Huerta. Crystal Dunn with the header. Rapinoe manages to keep it in but not keep possession. Now the Americans have stolen it away through Lindsey Horan. She plays Morgan in behind. It's Brighton Morgan. Morgan first to it. Looking for Pugh. Credit to Abby McManus, who's able to make the play for England. And the Americans will make a couple changes now. Sofia Huerta coming on for Ale Long, while Morgan Bryan replaces Lindsey Horan. Huerta, really interesting player, Julie. Can play a lot of positions, and she has been used in a lot of different positions here by Jill Ellis.
I'm thinking they're going to push Dunn higher and keep Huerta on that back line with Horan coming out. Maybe not. Maybe Huerta, because Huerta can play both, as you said.
England going to make a change as well. That's Rachel Daly set to enter the match for Fran Kirby. So when we get started again, it'll be a throw in deep here for the United States. Just about 15 minutes left in this She Believes Cup finale. US and England, winner takes all. Done for Morgan. She's double teamed and manages to win a corner kick. Nope. They'll say it was... I thought it was pretty clearly off the English defender there. Instead, it will be a goal kick. Bardsley, the distribution, looking for bronze. Carly Lloyd, big challenge. She goes down hard. Well, looks like Lloyd will get back up. So Sonnet has shifted into a center back role. Is this kind of a 3 center back that we're looking at here, Julie?
Yeah, exactly. They're going to play like a 3 center backs and then Dunn and Huerta as their wingers.
Just a few seconds ago, Carly Lloyd. Lloyd looking to break a 10-match drought. If there's anyone you'd expect to do it in a big moment such as this, it'd be the American number 10. Morgan alone up top trying to apply some pressure, but the English with control of the ball. Through ball defended well by Huerta there.
England pretty aggressive with how many they're sending as well, given that they have to get the equalizer to try and get the win out of this in terms of winning the She Believes Cup. So you can see why Ellis has chosen that 3 center back, mind you, formation.
Duggan now cuts it back atop the area. Looking for Christensen. Christensen, one-time shot. Wide. White was there looking to apply a deflecting touch.
And that's exactly what Ellen White does so well. She gets a little deflection on so many of these. Almost getting a reach on that one.
Earlier we mentioned Rachel Daly checking into the match. One of the English players that plies her trade in the NWSL. Houston Dash. Bryan has it stripped away, but wins it right back. Lloyd, the one-touch clearance into the feet of Morgan, who's challenged from behind by Bright, and Morgan draws the foul. "13 minutes and change left here in Orlando. All that separates the United States from becoming 2018 She Believes Cup champions."
And this is the challenge for the United States in these last 12 minutes, is not to get too conservative and go into a defensive shell. You want to hold the ball, make England chase, but also still keep going forward.
Yet another substitution being prepared on the near sideline. Christensen into Duggan. Now back to Christensen. Bronze with all sorts of time and space. Lucy Bronze, one-on-one with Dunn. Bronze, and again, Dunn makes the play. This time, though, it will result in a corner kick, and England will send numbers forward. An English side that has been unable to create opportunities will look to do so from the set piece.
Well done by Bronze. Just so hard to get around the corner with Dunn's pace. But she gets a corner kick out of it. Bright coming up.
Paris plays it short to Christensen. Christensen again on the ball. Now Walsh. Low driven ball into Paris. She's turned. The chip to the back post. Bright the header. And Dahlkemper knocks it out of bounds for a throw-in, but the English ratcheting up the pressure as we get closer and closer to the 80th minute. Sub coming for the United States, Savannah McCaskill will replace Megan Rapinoe. And you can hear what the fans thought of her effort. And in comes number 21, Savannah McCaskill. She'll join the Boston Breakers this NWSL season. Recently the number 2 overall pick in the NWSL draft. Played at South Carolina. Just 21 years old. McCaskill under pressure now. Swept away by Sonnet. Parkland High School in attendance today. And their classmates Alyssa Al-Hadef. Honored before the match by U.S. Soccer with a moment of silence. Of course, last month's tragic school shooting. Parkland community. Alyssa, quite an accomplished soccer player in her own right, and many of her teammates in attendance. They got a cool moment with the team before the match.
And they all were given U.S. jerseys with Alyssa's last name on them, Al-Hadef. The 3 teams, the junior varsity, the varsity, and her club team as well, along with Alyssa's parents. Just such a tragic story when they were having their moment of silence and you saw the tears before the game.
Again, our deepest condolences to the Stoneman Douglas community, the Parkland community. 83rd minute here in Orlando. U.S. still up 1-0, and Mallory Pugh turning the American attack upfield. McCaskill drops it for Morgan Bryan. U.S. trying to ping it around the top of the box, but just off the mark. Here comes England through Tony Duggan. Good challenge from Bryan. Daly unable to control as Dunn comes away with a nice ball to McCaskill. She finds Pugh. Nice overlapping run from Huerta. She'll check it back through Dahlkemper. Dahlkemper cross to Lloyd. Lloyd, the header just over the bar. Carly Lloyd looking for international goal number 99, and she wasn't far off it. Another brilliant ball from Abby Dahlkemper.
Dahlkemper all night with these beautiful balls in. And this is the thing you know about Carly Lloyd. She is scrapping to the very end, just fighting for a seam here. Rises above. Almost gets that one on target.
Ball all the way back to Nair.
2 goals away, as we said before, from number 100 for Carly Lloyd, and so many of those in the biggest of moments.
Walsh spraying it wide for Daly. It'll be Daly and Dunn one-on-one this time. Daly, an attempted cross. You know the script. Crystal Dunn makes the play. It's almost like she's played that position before. It will, however, be a corner kick for England, and they'll send numbers up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in the box, another 3 crowding the edge of the area. It's all or nothing now for the Lionesses. Nikita Paris to deliver. And again, the English play it short. Bronze. Christensen. Cross in, and look who's there to head it away. Alex Morgan. Doing the work at both ends of the field.
I don't get that. You need to get in the box. Why do you keep going short with corner kicks? And they're not getting much productivity out of it.
Stokes the switch, big collision, Dunn under pressure. White will beat her to it. Dropped for Christensen. Big tackle there from Lloyd. And we're going to have a set piece right on the edge of the American area. Dangerous spot for the U.S.
And coming in late as well. I mean, that's just a situation where you don't want to give up this set piece. This close, this late. But maybe England will go short.
Are you noticing a pattern? They've got 3 players around the ball right now. You see Bronze and Paris, and Christensen just a few yards away. Another substitute coming. It'll be Jill Scott entering the match for Kira Walsh. Scott, 5'11". Consider her a target on this set piece. Demi Stokes will check out, replaced by Hannah Blundell. Drops it for Christensen. Open header off the bar. And just like at the other end, I don't know how, but it didn't go in. The short set piece worked to perfection for England, only to see the finishing touch just off the mark.
Oh, a post to save Alyssa Nair there.
No surprise, Ellen White. The danger woman as she nearly tied this match at 1. Daly in pursuit. Daly and Morgan Bryan, former teammates on the Houston Dash.
And this is one she's flying backwards, so she can't really come around on it.
How about the touch from Davidson there? That was own goal written all over it.
Just a little bit off balance, so she can't come around on it. Did well to get it close.
We can see Phil Neville on the near sideline pointing to his watch and telling his team they're running out of time. Indeed they are. We're in the 88th minute. And England must produce a goal if they want to take the trophy home. Where it's all the way back to Nair. And her one-touch clearance leaves something to be desired. It'll be a deep throw here for England. They continue to push bodies forward in search of that equalizer. Whistle down on the field. Bad throw?
I think she was calling it, actually. Let's see if they put it on the field. Yeah, I think she was calling it a handball. Looks like she took it off her chest.
Carol Ann Chenard of Canada, the center ref tonight.
Here's another look at it. It's Paris here.
It'll be 3 minutes of stoppage time. So a little over 4 minutes total, all that separates the United States from the 2018 SheBelieves Cup Championship. The margin of difference tonight provided in the 58th minute, courtesy an own goal. An own goal that came off a cross from Megan Rapinoe. Bronze with the pass into the middle. Morgan Bryan there to collect for the U.S. Davidson will dump it deep. And McCaskill applying the pressure here. McCaskill's so much fun to watch, Julie. I mean, for a player to have worked her way into meaningful minutes in a tournament like this with a talent pool as deep as this, says a lot about her.
And that's always been the thing when you saw her at South Carolina, is could you see her around that many more talented players and what she could do at this level? Says a lot that Jill Ellis giving her those minutes.
I think a lot of people think of her as kind of a tweener. Great article on SB Nation from Kevin McCauley talking about McCaskill. Definitely worth a read. She is going to be your favorite player's favorite player very soon. There you see it. 3 minutes to go. Can the U.S. hang on? Can England equalize? Daly, Scott leaves it. Dunn caught in an awkward spot there, but she's able to draw the foul and buy a minute of breathing room for this U.S. team.
Did well there, Dunn. Actually just got her body in the way. Scott trying to get in behind her.
Crystal Dunn's not careful. She's going to end up at left back.
Yes.
Well, you want to play well, but you don't play too well. McCaskill fighting in there, unable to maintain possession, so the English get it right back. Christensen out to Blundell. Her long ball will roll all the way to Alyssa Nair's patient, waiting feet. No rush to pick this one up. U.S. readying another substitution on the near sideline. That's Lynn Williams ready to check in. Talk about speed late in the match. Lynn Williams, the player you want to bring on. Dunn caught between two worlds there, but she does enough to pressure Scott into a bad pass. Cleared away by Davidson, only as far as McManus. McManus now bringing it up, and she misfires, trying to find Daly on the near sideline.
And Alex Morgan and Mallory Pugh still on both sides of the ball doing the work in the 92nd minute. Such a great thing for young kids at home to see.
And Pugh will finally get a breather here. She'll be the one replaced by Williams. Williams, big part of that North Carolina Courage team. 9 goals, 5 assists for North Carolina last season. She is just 24 years old. And as we've said before, one of the brighter and more obvious examples of the value of the NWSL when it comes to the U.S. talent pool. Tierna Davidson on the ball, can't clip it past Bronze. The U.S. has it now with Carly Lloyd. She's challenged from behind. Ball falls to Lynn Williams. Williams sandwiched atop the box. Bronze in there battling. Bright knocks it away. Williams called for the foul. And there can't be too much time left now. Seconds separating the United States from the SheBelieves Cup championship. A tournament in which the U.S. finished dead last a year ago. Some confusion here. 2 balls on the field. Finally put in play by the English. Do they have time for one last run upfield? Bronze will knock it ahead. Dunn lets it skip in behind her. Davidson knocks it out of bounds. Throw in coming for England. They will not get a chance to put it back in play. The United States, 1-0 winners, thanks to an own goal in the 58th minute. And as a result, the U.S. are your 2018 SheBelieves Cup champions.
And the U.S. going from finishing last in this tournament, as we've talked about, to saying for the last year they wanted to make that up. And here they are, the champions this year. A much more consistent run in this tournament. Still a lot of things to grow upon, but there will be a lot of positives they take from this as well. The possession in this last game, even though in that final third they're going to want to work on that as well. But many positives to take if you're Jill Ellis walking out of here.
Julie, we heard the frustration from the team after the France match. They certainly played like an inspired group tonight as they pick up the 1-0 victory over England. Quick break for us. When we return, some final thoughts from Orlando as the U.S. beats England 1-0 in the SheBelieves Cup finale.